What if Hollywood's golden age wasn't as picture-perfect as it seemed? Behind the dazzling lights, red carpets, and iconic love stories, many of the era's biggest stars led lives wrapped in secrecy. In a time when being true to oneself could mean the end of a career, these legends went to extraordinary lengths to keep their personal lives hidden. Stick around and drop a comment below. You might just uncover surprising secrets about your favorite classic icons that history tried to erase. John Gielgud, celebrated as a brilliant artist, lived during a time in England when homosexuality was both illegal and seen as a moral flaw. While his sexuality was an open secret within the theater community, Gielgud remained discreet about his private life in the public eye. This careful approach allowed him to thrive in a society that was often hostile to his identity, all while maintaining his stellar reputation and success in his craft. Despite his careful approach, John Gielgud was not immune to the harsh realities of being a gay man in a repressive society. In 1953, at the age of 49, he was arrested for importuning for immoral purposes, a charge commonly used to target gay men. The arrest took place in Chelsea, London, after Gielgud was found approaching another man in a public restroom, a stark reminder of the dangers posed by the discriminatory laws of the time. This incident underscored the vulnerability and risks faced by LGBTQ+ individuals in an era that criminalized their very existence. The scandal surrounding John Gielgud's arrest threatened to derail his esteemed career. As news of the incident spread, many feared that his professional life in the conservative British society of the 1950s was over. Gielgud himself was shaken by the event and considered retreating from the stage altogether. However, the reaction from his colleagues and the public was unexpectedly supportive. Rather than facing isolation, Gielgud found comfort in the forgiveness and loyalty shown by the theater community and his fans. His remarkable talent and resilience allowed him to continue working, and his reputation as a legendary actor remained largely intact, proving the strength of his artistic legacy. Cesar Romero's Bachelor status and his aversion to marriage became key elements of his public image. While he was romantically linked to several famous actresses, including Joan Crawford and Carmen Miranda, these relationships were often seen as more platonic than passionate. The media, ever keen to sensationalize the lives of Hollywood's eligible bachelors, frequently speculated about his romantic affairs. Romero, with his signature charm and wit, would often divert attention away from the subject of marriage, playing into the narrative with a mix of humor and mystery. Behind the glamour, however, rumors about his sexuality persisted. Although Romero never publicly addressed these speculations, likely due to the conservative climate of mid-20th century America, many in Hollywood believed the whispers to be true. By maintaining a level of discretion, Romero was able to navigate the pressures of both his career and personal life while preserving the beloved persona that fans adored. Cesar Romero's ability to keep his private life discreet in an era when stars were under constant scrutiny was a testament to his carefulness and the loyalty of those around him. Unlike some of his contemporaries, he avoided scandals or invasive tabloid stories that could have jeopardized his career. His refusal to discuss his personal life did not diminish his standing in Hollywood. On the contrary, his friendly demeanor, sharp sense of humor, and dedication to his craft endeared him to colleagues and fans alike. Romero often joked about his bachelorhood, once quipping, "I've never married because I like steak, and I like it cooked my way." Such remarks, while humorous, reinforced his image as a man content with his independence. This charm and light-hearted approach allowed him to maintain his status as a beloved Hollywood figure while skillfully sidestepping the pressures of public curiosity. Rudolph Valentino, a cultural icon of the 1920s, enchanted audiences worldwide as one of the most glamorous stars of the silent film era. Dubbed the Latin Lover, Valentino personified romance and passion on screen through unforgettable performances in films like The Sheik and Blood and Sand. With his captivating looks, smoldering gaze, and magnetic charisma, he became an international sensation, earning adoration from fans across the globe and cementing his place as a legendary figure in Hollywood history. Beneath Rudolph Valentino's cinematic charm was a personal life marked by controversy and speculation, especially concerning his sexuality. His first marriage to actress Jean Acker was brief and filled with drama, ending in an infamous incident on their wedding night. Reports suggest that Acker locked Valentino out of their hotel room, leaving him embarrassed and alone. The marriage was quickly annulled, raising questions about the true nature of their relationship and sparking rumors about Valentino's sexuality. Acker later came out as a lesbian and had a long-term relationship with a woman, adding another layer of complexity to the narrative of her marriage to Valentino. This event continues to intrigue and fuel discussions about the star's private life. Valentino's second marriage, to costume designer and actress Natasha Rambova, was equally fraught with turmoil. Their intense yet troubled relationship eventually ended after a few years, with Rambova citing differences in lifestyle and career conflicts as the main reasons for their separation. The breakdown of both marriages, along with Valentino's close friendships with several male colleagues, only deepened the speculation about his sexuality. These aspects of his private life kept the mystery surrounding Valentino's personal world alive, continuing to captivate the public's curiosity long after his death. While biographers of Valentino, including Emily Leiter and Alan Ellenberger, generally agree that he was likely heterosexual, rumors about his sexuality have continued to linger, largely influenced by the cultural and societal standards of the era. The 1920s were marked by rigid gender roles and conservative views on sexuality, and Valentino's refined appearance, soft-spoken nature, and elegant style often defied traditional ideals of masculinity. This deviation from the norm made him a target for speculation and criticism, reflecting the societal anxieties of the time regarding gender and identity. Valentino faced frequent ridicule in the press, with some publications derisively dubbing him the Pink Powder Puff, a nickname intended to mock his refined and gentle image. These public attacks wounded him deeply, prompting Valentino to defend his masculinity on numerous occasions. In one notable incident, he even challenged a journalist to a boxing match, hoping to prove his toughness. Despite this dramatic response, the rumors and criticisms persisted, leaving Valentino to continue battling the public's unrelenting scrutiny of his personal life and image. For decades, Dick Sargent kept his sexuality private, much like many actors of his time. Hollywood during that era was a place where coming out as gay was often seen as career suicide. The entertainment industry was dominated by a culture of silence regarding LGBTQ+ issues, and celebrities with different sexual orientations faced significant professional risks. Although there were persistent rumors about Sargent's personal life, He largely avoided tabloid scrutiny and maintained a public-facing career without addressing or confirming speculations about his sexuality. His discretion reflected the challenges of navigating an industry and society that demanded conformity while suppressing personal authenticity. In the early 1990s, Dick Sargent made the transformative decision to live more authentically, recognizing the importance of using his public platform for causes close to his heart. In 1991, he bravely came out as gay in an interview with People magazine, making a powerful statement of self-acceptance. This was a pivotal moment, as Hollywood during that time was still largely unwelcoming to openly LGBTQ+ individuals, with many actors fearing that such a revelation would endanger their careers. Sargent's choice to embrace his true identity and speak out for greater acceptance became a significant milestone, helping to foster more visibility and representation for the LGBTQ+ community within the entertainment industry. For Dick Sargent, coming out was a liberating moment. He explained that he had lived much of his life under the weight of secrecy, and publicly embracing his sexuality was a way to take control of his own narrative. Sargent's decision also signaled a broader shift in the entertainment industry. While he was not the first actor to come out as gay, his choice was groundbreaking for a well-known television star, especially during a time when LGBTQ+ representation and acceptance in Hollywood were still evolving. His courage helped challenge stereotypes and opened the door for more open conversations about sexuality in the public sphere. In addition to his courageous decision to come out, Dick Sargent became a passionate advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, particularly in the fight against HIV/AIDS. During the early 1990s, when the epidemic was ravaging communities around the world, Sargent used his platform to raise awareness and rally support for those affected. He took part in fundraising efforts, collaborated with organizations dedicated to supporting people living with HIV/AIDS, and worked tirelessly to educate the public. His activism was deeply personal, as he had seen the devastating toll the crisis took on the gay community. Sargent's commitment to advocacy underscored his belief in the power of compassion and the necessity of fighting for both awareness and justice in a time of urgent need. Through his efforts, he helped bring much-needed attention to the issue, further solidifying his legacy as an ally and advocate for change. During a time when rigid gender roles and traditional sexual norms prevailed, Tony Randall's passion for opera, theater, and fine dining, along with his refusal to fit the stereotypical image of a macho Hollywood star, led to speculation about his sexuality. His appreciation for the finer things in life, combined with his intellectual approach to entertainment and a flair for humor, often made him an intriguing figure in the public eye. Randall was also an avid supporter of the arts and a frequent guest on talk shows, where his quick wit and uninhibited humor were always in the spotlight. Despite the persistent rumors surrounding him, Randall enjoyed a deeply committed marriage to his first wife, Florence Gibbs, lasting 50 years until her death in 1992. Their enduring relationship, which began when Randall was just 19, was one of true love and mutual respect. Florence's passing marked a profound shift in Randall's life, challenging him to navigate the complexities of life without his longtime partner, while also facing an evolving public perspective on his personal life. In 1995, Randall surprised everyone by remarrying, this time to Heather Harlan, a woman 50 years his junior. This marriage, which defied societal expectations and drew much criticism, led to the birth of two children, Julia, and Jefferson. Randall's second marriage changed public perceptions of him at a time when many believed he would live out his days as a widower. In interviews, Tony Randall consistently dismissed doubts about his relationship with Heather, stressing the depth of their love and happiness. Yet, rumors about his sexuality persisted throughout his career. These speculations were often fueled by societal stereotypes, which sought to associate certain behaviors or characteristics with specific sexual orientations. Randall confronted these whispers head-on, often using his signature wit to deflect probing questions. At one point, he humorously remarked, "I don't understand why people are so interested in my private life. It's called private for a reason." His refusal to conform to rigid labels, along with his dedication to living life on his own terms, not only made him a respected figure, but also a fascinating one. Someone who navigated both personal and public expectations with grace and authenticity. During the mid-20th century, actors who supported or belonged to the LGBTQ+ community often had to keep their personal lives hidden. Roddy McDowall, a beloved Hollywood figure, never married and remained discreet about his private life, though those within the industry widely understood the truth. Known for his deep friendships with many LGBTQ+ individuals, McDowall chose to maintain his privacy, aware of the risks that being openly gay could pose to his career. Despite the secrecy, his colleagues and inner circle respected his decision, and while he never publicly addressed his sexuality, his personal life was an open secret in Hollywood's elite circles. One of the most defining aspects of Roddy McDowall's personal life was his deep and lasting friendships with members of the LGBTQ+ community, including legendary figures like Elizabeth Taylor and Montgomery Clift, both known for their fiercely private lives and complex relationships with their identities. McDowall's professionalism, warmth, and unwavering loyalty made him a beloved presence in Hollywood, earning the admiration of colleagues and friends alike. Those who knew him often spoke of his intelligence, charm, and authenticity, qualities that shone through not only in his performances, but also in the way he carried himself every day. Will Geer's life extended far beyond the unforgettable characters he brought to the screen. Off-camera, he was a force of nature, an actor, activist, and a man whose personal journey challenged the rigid norms of his era. His relationships, political activism, and quiet defiance in the face of a society that often resisted his truths all contributed to his enduring legacy. Geer's life was a testament to resilience and authenticity, cementing him as a trailblazer not just in entertainment, but in the pursuit of personal and social justice. In the 1930s, Will Geer shared a romantic relationship with Harry Hay, a pioneering activist who would later become a foundational figure in the gay rights movement. As the co-founder of the Mattachine Society, Hay dedicated his life to advocating for LGBTQ+ rights and visibility. Their relationship was not just a personal connection, but a profound partnership rooted in shared ideals, with both men deeply committed to social justice and activism. Their bond played a role in shaping their paths as allies in the fight for equality, leaving a lasting impact on the movements they championed. However, the societal pressures of the time, along with Will Geer's desire to build a traditional family, ultimately led to the end of his relationship with Harry Hay. Geer later married actress and activist Herta Ware, with whom he built a life rooted in progressive values and a shared love for the arts. Their marriage, which lasted until their divorce in 1954, brought them 3 children and a deep, enduring connection. Despite their separation, Geer and Ware remained close throughout their lives. Ware, always compassionate and understanding of Geer's sexual identity, provided unwavering support and acceptance during an era of widespread judgment, showcasing the profound strength of their bond. Will Geer's activism extended far beyond his personal life, profoundly shaping his public career. At a time when political affiliations, particularly ties to the Communist Party, posed significant risks in the entertainment industry, Geer remained unwavering in his commitment to social justice. His advocacy was rooted in a deep belief in equality as he tirelessly championed workers' rights, civil rights, and various progressive causes. His fearless dedication to these ideals not only showcased his courage, but also underscored his relentless drive to push for a more just and equitable world, despite the immense personal and professional risks he faced. Although Paul Lynde never openly discussed his sexuality, his personal life was often the subject of speculation. Living in an era with rigid expectations surrounding masculinity and gender roles, Lynde's flamboyant style and effervescent, often campy persona sparked widespread assumptions about his sexual orientation. Despite these rumors, Lynde opted to keep his private life a secret, a choice shaped by the harsh realities of Hollywood at the time, where being openly LGBTQ+ could have devastating effects on one's career. His decision to maintain privacy reflected the difficult balance many entertainers had to strike between personal truth and professional survival in an industry that demanded conformity. Behind the scenes, Paul Lynde faced a deeply personal struggle, his long battle with alcoholism, which was closely tied to the pressures of concealing his true identity. Many believe that the constant need to maintain a public facade while suppressing his authentic self contributed to his addiction. The weight of living up to a carefully crafted image while hiding his truth created an immense emotional burden. Over time, the toll of his drinking extended beyond his personal life, gradually impacting his professional career. Despite his undeniable talent and beloved presence on Hollywood squares, his struggles with alcohol led to increasingly erratic behavior and a reputation for being difficult to work with, adding yet another layer of complexity to his already challenging life. These personal struggles ultimately hindered Paul Lynde's career, causing him to miss out on key opportunities and leading to deep personal turmoil. His battles with alcoholism, though well known, were often overshadowed by his desire to keep his sexual identity private. As his career began to stall in his later years, Lynde's personal life became an even more complicated source of tension. It wasn't until after his death in 1982 that the true depth of his struggles began to emerge. At the time of his passing, Lynde was celebrated as a comedic genius, loved for his sharp wit and distinct comedic style. However, there was also a lingering sadness in the recognition that, despite his success, he had never fully embraced his authentic self, both in his professional career and personal life. Paul Lynde's legacy is a multifaceted one, defined by his exceptional comedic talent and his struggles with reconciling his true self with the expectations of fame and Hollywood. His life, though filled with laughter and brilliant performances, also reflects the profound tension between personal authenticity and the constraints of societal norms. Lynde passed away at the age of 55 from complications related to a heart attack, leaving behind a bittersweet legacy. a reminder of the pressures and inner conflicts faced by those forced to hide parts of themselves for the sake of their careers. His story serves as both a celebration of his immense talent and a reflection on the emotional cost of living a life in the shadows. James Mitchell, a gay man in an era when homosexuality was still heavily stigmatized, especially in Hollywood, chose to keep his sexuality private. While he never openly acknowledged it, his long and devoted relationship with costume designer Albert Wolski, known for his work on All That Jazz and The Verdict, remained one of the most respected and enduring love stories in the industry. Over the course of 39 years, their partnership stood as a silent tribute to their deep love and commitment. In a time when such relationships were often relegated to the shadows, Mitchell and Wolski's bond was a quiet yet powerful symbol of enduring affection. James Mitchell and Albert Wolski's relationship began in the early 1960s, and though it was never openly discussed, it became an integral part of Mitchell's life. While he kept his sexuality private throughout his career, those close to him, whether colleagues on set or trusted friends, were aware of the partnership. Mitchell was remembered by those who worked with him as a warm, kind-hearted individual, wholly dedicated to his craft and fiercely loyal to those he held dear. His long-lasting relationship with Wolski, though never publicized, was a quiet testament to the depth of Mitchell's character and his unwavering commitment to the people and values he cherished most. James Mitchell's decision to keep his personal life private was a reflection of the social climate of his time, where being openly gay in Hollywood or on television often threatened one's career. In an era where LGBTQ+ identities were widely marginalized, many actors, including Mitchell, understood that discretion was necessary to protect their professional prospects. His choice wasn't born from shame, but from a strategic decision to navigate the harsh realities of the entertainment industry. By remaining silent, Mitchell adhered to the era's expectations while preserving his relationships and personal integrity, embodying the quiet strength required to balance self-authenticity with career ambitions in a world that demanded conformity. Jack Cassidy's striking good looks, charisma, and undeniable stage presence made him a well-known figure in both Hollywood and Broadway throughout the 1950s and 1960s. However, his personal life told a much different story, one far from the glamorous image he presented to the public. Cassidy's life was marked by turbulent relationships, battles with substance abuse, and ongoing rumors regarding his sexuality. These personal struggles added depth to his already enigmatic persona, creating a sharp contrast to the polished and charming image he so often portrayed on screen and stage. Jack Cassidy's marriage to actress Shirley Jones in 1956 was one of Hollywood's most prominent unions, making them a beloved couple in the public eye. Together, they had 3 children, including David Cassidy, who went on to become a star on The Partridge Family, a show in which Shirley also starred. On the surface, their family seemed to represent the perfect American ideal. However, behind the scenes, Jack's personal struggles started to emerge. His immense talent and charm were often overshadowed by the inner turmoil he grappled with, which would eventually have a profound impact on both his career and family life. While Jack Cassidy was still married to Shirley Jones, whispers began to circulate regarding his sexuality. With his captivating looks and undeniable charm, rumors swirled that Cassidy might have had relationships with both men and women, leading to speculation about his possible bisexuality. These murmurs were particularly common in Hollywood circles, where his close relationships with men, though never publicly acknowledged, fueled gossip among peers. This added another layer of complexity to Cassidy's personal life, creating a stark contrast between the image of the ideal family man he projected and the more mysterious reality that lay beneath the surface. Despite the rumors swirling around him, Jack Cassidy never publicly addressed his sexuality, continuing to project the image of a heterosexual man to the public. He was cautious in safeguarding his private life, aware that any revelations could jeopardize his career. However, those who worked closely with him or were part of his inner circle knew about his relationships with men, which, though never openly discussed, were an open secret. This tension between his public persona and private truth deepened the complexity of his life, leaving behind a legacy that was as enigmatic as it was fascinating. Simultaneously, Jack Cassidy battled alcoholism, which severely impacted both his career and personal life. His struggles with substance abuse led to increasingly erratic behavior and personal turmoil, becoming a frequent source of concern. Living a double life seemed to take a toll on Cassidy, both in his professional endeavors and in his family relationships. His marriage to Shirley Jones, once a symbol of Hollywood's golden unions, began to deteriorate under the weight of his challenges and ended in divorce in 1975 after nearly 2 decades. This marked a pivotal moment in Cassidy's life, as his personal difficulties deepened and the pressures continued to mount. By the time of his death in 1976, Jack Cassidy's personal and professional life had reached a tragic and turbulent end. He was found dead in a Los Angeles apartment fire at the age of 49, under circumstances that remain shrouded in mystery. While some speculated that the fire was a tragic accident, others believed that Cassidy's ongoing struggles with alcoholism and his fragile mental state may have played a role in the incident. His untimely death added yet another layer of complexity to his legacy, leaving behind a career full of promise yet marred by personal demons and unanswered questions. Liberace's public persona was meticulously crafted to appeal to a mainstream audience during a time when homosexuality was heavily stigmatized and could devastate a career. He built the image of a heterosexual man through interactions with the press and his fans, frequently discussing his love for women. He even contributed to articles like "Mature Women Are Best," "Television's Top Pianist Reveals the Kind of Woman He'd Like to Marry," in which he outlined his standards for a future wife. These calculated statements reinforced his carefully constructed image and helped him maintain his status as a beloved family entertainer. However, Liberace's private life told a very different story. He had romantic relationships with men, most notably with his longtime partner, Scott Thorson. Thorson, 40 years younger than Liberace, entered his life in the late 1970s and became not only his romantic partner, but also an integral part of Liberace's public image. The two often appeared together during tours and events, presenting a unified front to the world. Their relationship, however, was tumultuous and ultimately ended in a highly publicized lawsuit. Thorson sued Liberace for emotional and financial support, a case that drew significant media attention and brought Liberace's private life into the public eye. Despite his efforts to maintain a carefully curated public persona, the lawsuit exposed aspects of his personal life that he had long sought to keep hidden. Despite media scrutiny, Liberace steadfastly denied being gay, dismissing rumors as baseless attacks from tabloid sources. His denial of his sexuality was not only a personal choice, but also a reflection of the societal pressures of the time. In the deeply conservative entertainment industry of the mid-20th century, admitting to being gay was unthinkable, especially for someone like Liberace, whose brand relied heavily on the adoration of middle-class American audiences. Instead, Liberace used lawsuits and public statements to fiercely defend his image. In a famous 1959 case, he successfully sued the British tabloid Daily Mirror for insinuating he was gay, famously remarking afterward, "I cried all the way to the bank." This approach exemplified his determination to maintain his carefully curated public persona while navigating the challenges of living as a closeted gay man in a judgmental era. Despite his persistent public denials, Liberace's sexuality was widely regarded as an open secret within Hollywood. His extravagant fashion sense, theatrical humor, and close relationships with men only fueled the ongoing speculation. Yet, it was his extraordinary talent and magnetic charisma that ultimately overshadowed the rumors. Audiences were captivated not only by his virtuosity as a pianist, but also by his bold embrace of glamour and flamboyance, which made him an iconic figure in entertainment. Liberace's ability to entertain with his larger-than-life presence cemented his place in history, even as whispers about his personal life quietly circulated. In a time when Hollywood's rigid public image standards left little room for deviation from heterosexual norms, George Nader's sexuality became the focus of much speculation. His deep, enduring friendship with Rock Hudson, one of the era's most iconic stars, fueled rumors about both actors' private lives. Although their bond was never officially acknowledged as anything more than a platonic relationship, their closeness and frequent companionship led many to speculate, adding an extra layer of mystery to both Nader and Hudson's personal stories. These rumors reflected the intense scrutiny and curiosity that surrounded the lives of Hollywood's leading men during this era. In an era where Hollywood demanded strict adherence to carefully crafted public personas, the mere suggestion of a relationship between two male stars was often met with suspicion. Despite persistent rumors and speculation, George Nader never publicly addressed his sexuality during his career. The powerful studio system, along with its public relations teams, enforced an unyielding standard of conformity. In this environment, deviating from the expected heteronormative ideals, such as acknowledging a gay identity, could have catastrophic consequences for an actor's career. For Nader, preserving his professional life meant remaining silent about his personal life, navigating an industry where conformity was paramount and privacy was a necessary shield. In the early 1970s, after more than a decade of steady work in Hollywood, George Nader chose to step away from acting. He transitioned to a quieter life, focusing on his passion for writing and living out of the public eye. During this time, Nader fully embraced his true identity, choosing to live openly with his longtime partner, Mark Miller. The couple shared a loving and committed relationship that lasted over 55 years, becoming a symbol of enduring love during an era when same-sex relationships were rarely acknowledged, let alone celebrated. Their bond stood as a quiet but powerful testament to authenticity and resilience in the face of societal challenges. During an era when coming out as gay could ruin a career, especially in the Hollywood of the 1960s, George Maharis chose to keep his sexual orientation a secret. In a time when stars were expected to adhere to heteronormative standards, any deviation from these expectations could lead to a swift and dramatic decline in their career. Like many actors of his time, Maharis kept his personal identity private, fully aware of the risks associated with publicly acknowledging his sexuality. For Maharis, this meant maintaining a heterosexual image despite persistent rumors about his sexual orientation. However, in 1967, his carefully constructed public persona was shattered when he was arrested for lewd conduct in a public restroom in Los Angeles. The incident involved Maharis being caught engaging in sexual activity with another man, which became a widely reported scandal in the press. At a time when homosexuality was criminalized in many states, the arrest dealt a heavy blow to his career. Although Maharis never publicly admitted it, the incident exposed the truth about his sexual orientation to the public, forcing him to face media scrutiny and the consequences of his arrest. The scandal caused significant damage, and Maharis was subsequently written out of Route 66 during its third season. His departure was attributed to health issues, a convenient excuse that allowed him to exit without further scandal. The impact of the arrest and the ensuing media storm was immediate and profound. Maharis's career, which had been on an upward trajectory, began to stall. In a time when homosexuality was heavily stigmatized, the scandal not only tarnished his image, but also closed many doors to future opportunities. Although he continued to work in television and film, his roles became increasingly scarce, and his fame faded compared to the heights he had once reached. What do you think about the hidden sexual identities of these stars? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy this content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.